Now you know pretty well how the game Top That on Lumosity works. It's like your own personal auction that you use to bid some high numbers. You play the game all by yourself and see how much you can bid by the time the timer of your minute stops. But here's something that's wrong with the game. Do you see the number on the white circle? It tells you if there's something added or subtracted or multiplied by that number. Here's one that shows one of the numbers. Here's one that shows two numbers. And here's one that shows all three numbers. You have to make the numbers flash or else people won't know it. Why people don't realize what's added or subtracted or multiplied by the number on the board is because that number isn't flashing like it should be. Anything that's flashing catches people's eyes a lot faster than anything that's steady. You have to make the numbers flash, and I'll show you some samples right here so that you can see what I mean. But here's something else that's wrong. Do you see the prizes on the stage that they offer? These you can buy at the store if you need. Therefore, there's no need to win them as prizes even if you're flat broke. If they're of interest to you, you can easily set up a wish list to your friends and relatives to help you get them. On this board, it shows what you can buy with that amount of money that you won. It also shows you the sentence that says, "Do you want to buy this?" with the options of yes or no displayed near them. This way you can say no if it's not something you really want. Otherwise, the game is just ripping off the money that you earn from playing. This is another game that does the same as Top That. It's called Moneycomb. It works the same as gaining money from Top That, only with the number points. People who get high scores on that game are capable of doing stuff in random order, which is what need to be able to do succeed in the game more than your ability to remember. It's all supposed to have the option to save up money that you collect at the end of the game so that you can save up to buy what you want to. Do you see this picture of the upgrading of the traffic signal? This is in a big demand all over the world. This is another reason why it's wrong to make a store-bought items prizes. Salt Lake County, Utah is currently getting ready for their grand finish with this project and needs you to help them out, which is why this game is being upgraded the way it is. Do you see this list of Salt Lake County's intersections? These are the ones that are still hanging on the wire. Take about a minute and read them down. Do you see this list of Kitsap County's intersections? These are the ones that are still hanging on the wire. Take about a minute and read them down. Do you see this countdown chart? This is the countdown until Salt Lake County's intersections have been upgraded to be on the overhead steel girder. When it's all finished, Salt Lake County is going to have a celebratory party for all of the work they accomplished over the years. You would see that better if you stop offering store-bought prizes the way that you do. Do you see this screenshot of Highland Boulevard in Cottonwood, Utah? You notice that Highland Boulevard hasn't yet been built in extension past 98 South Avenue. And this picture is what Highland Boulevard will supposedly look like when it gets done. This picture shows Highland Boulevard going south of 107 South Avenue and then connecting to the stretch of the road in Draper, Utah. This picture is what Highland Boulevard will supposedly look like when it gets done. You would realize that better than you do if you'd stop giving out store-bought prizes to people who play Top That the way they do. Here's another list of construction projects that need to get done. Take about a minute to read them down, and you will see what I mean about construction supporting needs. Here's another list of construction projects that need to get done. Take about a minute to read them down, and you will see what I mean about construction supporting needs. Here's another list of construction projects that need to get done. Take a minute to read them down, and you will see what I mean about construction supporting needs. Here's another list of construction projects that need to get done. Take a minute to read them down, and you will see what I mean about construction supporting needs. What do you think of this picture of a sampled terrace? It looks like something every hill in the city should have so that they'll look like places worth seeing. Moose and other wild animals might not approve of this, but at least it won't be too hard to go up and down the hills in the cities. In fact, here's a list of the hills in Anchorage, Alaska that need to be made into terraces. They're all on Government Hill just upstairs from the train yard and the seaport. You saw them in my previous Top That clip, and you'll find those anywhere. Take a minute to read them down and you will see what I mean about those construction needs in Anchorage, Alaska. Here's a picture of an intersection that must be converted into an interchange. Busy expressways like this really aren't safe without being intersections like this and need to be converted into interchanges like this. In fact, this is what the state of Utah is enforcing on all of the intersections along Bangerter Expressway and 21st South Expressway. It'll also be like this with Mountain View Corridor. Here's a list of the intersections in the world that must be converted into interchanges for safe. Take a minute to read them down and you will see what I mean about this situation. Here's a list of the intersections in the world that must be converted into interchanges for safe. Take a minute to read them down and you will see what I mean about this situation. Here's the request sheet that we'll be using to be able to accept construction planning requests to enter into the system. As you play Top That, the money will go into the Lumosity system and then to the traffic management system. When you gain enough money in your score from playing this game, and it'll offer you some current long-term construction projects in which you want support. This is why we need to make those store-bought prizes on Top That optional to have. This request sheet will be found in all of the grocery stores so that you can sign up for the construction project that you wish to support. Each store will have the lists of construction projects that we need to support, as you already saw them in the clip. In fact, Safeway and Albertsons have all agreed to give up Monopoly to support this game to be upgraded. They told us that they were willing to give up on Monopoly because they heard about their friends and relatives of disability in need of having some games that they like to play on Lumosity fixed. You might get a discount at the store playing Monopoly, but you'll get an even bigger discount if you help to support this repair to Top That. You have to put the needs of your friends and relatives of disability first, especially if their favorite games aren't working like they should be. Otherwise, you're just being greedy and are asking to lose your business, which is what will happen to Albertsons and Safeway if they refuse to give up on Monopoly for their friends and relatives of disability.